Gospel of Matthew shows us that King Jesus has arrived. But what does his kingdom look like? How is he changing the world? What do the people in his kingdom look like? How do they conduct themselves? Those are questions that are answered in the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew chapters 5, 6, and 7. The first 12 verses of the Sermon on the Mount are called the Beatitudes. And this is from a Latin word that's a translation of a Greek word, makarios, that means blessed. So blessed are all these. What are the blessings? Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. But how exactly are these Beatitudes blessings? That Greek word for blessing, makarios, just fundamentally it means happy. But this blessedness can't be reduced just to happiness as we commonly think of that word. There's something much deeper going on here. So how are these blessings blessings? How is it blessed to be poor in spirit and to mourn and to be meek in a world that takes charge? How is it great to hunger and thirst for God's righteousness and to be pure and peaceable when everything around you is not pure and peaceable? How is it blessed to be persecuted? Well, I want to say first how these are not blessings, and then I'll say how they are blessings. They are blessings because they're rules to follow per se. A lot of people look at these Beatitudes as commands that we are given by Jesus, that if you want to be part of his kingdom, you got to do these things first. These are the entrance requirements, or even not that, but they are the things we should strive for in the kingdom, that we're working towards something. You must be poor in spirit. You must mourn. You must hunger and thirst, and so on and so on. There are good intentions behind that interpretation, but I think that doesn't lead to our participation in God's kingdom. It doesn't lead us to joining Jesus in this kingdom that he's doing. That's just a roundabout way of us building our own kingdom. These are kingdom values. These are traits that we have. They're not so much what we're striving to do, but they're what we already are. If you're part of the kingdom of Jesus, this is what you are. This is what has motivated you to be part of his kingdom. I mean, you just go through it. Jesus is your Lord. If he is your Lord, then you have acknowledged your spiritual poverty. You are poor in spirit. You know you have nothing. You have God and you have everything. And everything else is nothing. You're utterly dependent on him. And then when you're poor in spirit, that's the beginning of... Being poor in spirit is the end of your ego. Mourning your sin is the beginning of your love. Mourning the sin in the world is the beginning of your love. That leads to meekness in our relationships. We're gentle and humble in how we treat other people. And that leads to us hungering and thirst for God's righteousness because we're not achieving our own righteousness. We're responding to God's grace. And this naturally leads us to being merciful, pure, peaceable, because we're part of another kingdom. We can be like these Beatitudes because this is the kingdom Jesus is bringing into the world. He's initiating a new era. He's making the world upside down in his kingdom. These values are totally different. So what can disciples in our Lord's kingdom do in this messed up world? That's the wrong question. It's not what we do. We don't do anything. We be what God made us to be. We are to be the Beatitudes. We're to be part of this kingdom that Jesus has made. He's made us as human beings, not as human doings. Be the Beatitudes. In this time, in a pandemic, when fear's all around us and anxiety, be the Beatitudes. Be what God made you to be, and then the doing will come naturally after that. We'll see next that in the kingdom of heaven, we have a specific function of being in this kingdom. Be salt and light. But we'll see that next time we take 5. I'll see you then.